Good morning, Southern California outdoor adventurers. Welcome to Radio Outdoor Expeditions. From Joshua Tree to Dutch Harbor, from the Canadian wilderness to the Amazon jungle. Buckle up because it's going to be wall-to-wall action on Ronnie Kovach's Radio Outdoor Expedition.
Radio Outdoor Expeditions is brought to you in part by the experts at Sport Chalet, On Target Shooting Range, Owner Hooks, P-Line Because We Fish, Turner's Outdoorsman, and Missouri Lures. Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard Radio Outdoor Expeditions here on Angels Radio, AM 830 KLAA. I'm Ronnie Kovach, and joining me is Sergio Feinstein on the stern, and on the port corner is Robert Schneider, the CEO and owner of the Phoenix Lure Company. This is the show, by the way, if you've just joined us, that went to Arbitron rated #1. This is big-time radio ratings, not just somebody blowing smoke up your fanny. 20 years ago. And so we celebrated our 20th anniversary this year. We're arguably the most listened to live radio show. I don't mean just fishing show or hunting show. I mean live radio show anywhere in the nation. We have a huge audience. We have great sponsors. And more importantly, we put out great information. Let me say good morning to Serge. Serge, good to see you again.
Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Southern California.
And Robert.
Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Sergio.
And, boy, we want to give some props, Robert, out to our friends at Turner's at Fountain Valley. They had over 70 people come out to hear us speak on none other than Catalina and San Clemente Island fishing. That was a great turnout, wasn't it?
Oh, it was wonderful. The folks at Turner's really put it together there for us.
And we've got more seminars coming up in the R-Free that Robert and I co-host. We may have Sergio show up at a couple of them here. We'll talk about that later in the show. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that I got my start in this business as a professional bass fisherman, freshwater bass fisherman. I fished with some of the greatest iconic West Coast bass fishermen of all time, guys like Dave Noller, guys like Mike Folkstead, Don Iovino, Larry Hopper, Jim Emmett, Chuck English, Randy Best. These are the guys that I grew up with. I grew up with them so well, fishing all kinds of lakes from Paris and Skinner to Castaic to Cachuma, that I was able to write a best-selling book called Bass Fishing in California, Secrets of the Western Pros. I even taught classes in bass fishing. I had a chance once at the U.S. Open while I was fishing as Mike Folkstead's backseater that year. As a pro, a young man came up to me and he said, "I don't know if you remember me, but I was 15 when I took your bass fishing class at Cerritos College." I said, "No, I'm sorry. I said, I don't really remember you." He said, "Well," he said, "my name is Byron Velvick," who later went on to win U.S. Opens and also became one of the stars of The Bachelor, all right? Very, very prominent bass fishing pro. I remember fishing against guys like Aaron Martins, who became a very, very prominent touring pro in not just Southern California, the nation. And him and his mother, Carol, had been on my show. Carol had been on my show many, many times. Again, over 20 years, we've seen everybody come through here. I remember having to fish with them in team tournaments here from Western Outdoor News. And I can remember one day when one of the pros that I was with told young Aaron if he ever talked to his mother like that, he was about 15 years old, that he was going to kick his fanny. The pro in my boat was going to kick his fanny. Well, Aaron went on to obviously to great fame. I also met a guy at one of the ICAST show that came up to me. I later did a show with him on bass fishing on Lake Havasu on my 15, 16-year show on Fox Sports West television every Sundays and Tuesdays, Fishing Ventures Television. And he said, you don't remember me. He said, but my name is Dean Rojas. And he said, many years ago, he said, I was a young man selling peanuts, the peanut vendor at Jack Murphy Stadium for the Padres, and I guess it was the Chargers at that time. He said, well, I own your boat. I said, Dean, you own my boat? What do you mean by that? He said, well, you won a U.S. Bass Team Open with 6 other members of your team with the Inland Empire Bassmasters based out of Riverside. I said, yeah, it was a fully rigged skeeter with a Mercury motor, Lowrance electronics and everything. I said, but I had to sell that boat because I already had a brand new Hydrosport that I just bought. He said, well, you sold it to a guy from San Diego that kept it for 6 months, and he sold it to me. He said, I won so many tournaments in that boat that now I live in Texas, and I keep that boat in my garage or barn or whatever he has. He says, it's almost like the Wright brothers, airplane from Kitty Hawk. He says, I keep it almost as a museum piece. He said, because, he said, it was so lucky for me. So I really grew up in the world of freshwater bass fishing, not only as a fishing professional in the field, but I also was a guide. And I believe that's much harder than professional fishing because in professional fishing, if you have a bad tournament, Robert, as you know, as a tournament angler, you just put your boat on the trailer, tuck your tail between your legs, and go off back home to your garage, right?
Pretty much.
A guide, on the other hand, if you take a dump at Lake Skinner or you decide to fish Lake Paris and there's water skiers out there because your clients can only fish on Saturdays or Sundays, and you take a dump, you're looking at 4 eyeballs out there looking at you and say, why didn't you deliver?
And they won't book.
Right, and they won't book again. So on that note, I want to introduce a very unusual guest this morning. His name is Brent Ayler, and he is going off to fish the Forrest L. Wood Cup in Shreveport, Louisiana. He won this event in 2006, and lo and behold, he hails from Redlands, California. Brent, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
How did you like that little background?
Oh, that was pretty nice. I like it.
Do you know Dave Noller?
Of course, everybody knows Dave.
I mean, he's the mayor of
Lake Paris.
Lake Paris, and certainly lives in Redlands. Dave used to be a history teacher and a vice principal. Dave was one of my mentors, Brent, and we spent him and the late Bob Bringhurst who was actually murdered out at Lake Paris. Bob worked as a guide for me for years, and when I had my guide business. But I really did so much fishing at Lake Paris when those Alabama spotted bass were put in there, and I can remember what an incredible fishery that was. Were you fishing the lake in those days?
You know, I just started fishing Paris right on the tail end of that. I do remember catching a few spotted bass out there, but it's been 20 years since I've caught one there. And so, about the first year I ever went there was when I caught a few spotted bass and haven't been back since. So, but yeah, Dave Noller, I mean, he was the one that really put Lake Paris on the map and has done a lot of, for the sport of bass fishing in Southern California. I really like Dave. He's such a good guy, and I unfortunately don't get to see him as much now because my schedule is always back east, and it seems like when I have time, he's in Alaska, helping his son with the halibut charter business up there, and then when he's home, I'm gone somewhere else. So we have opposite schedules, so I'm not able to see him that much anymore.
Yeah, and just to date me, at the Fred Hall show this last year, I was asked to help, along with George Kramer, to induct good friend Mike Folkstead into the Fishing Hall of Fame. I mean, that's a lot of Brent, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, well, let's start with the FLW tour. You know, people out here were basically weaned on things like Western Outdoor News Bass, and then there was the Redman circuit for a while, All American Bass, and so on. But the two biggest real shows, we'll call it, okay, in professional bass fishing are the Bassmasters and the FLW tours. These are the Platinum Series. This is where the big money is. Talk a little bit about the FLW tour and what it consists of.
You got it. I grew up in Southern California. I still live there, and just like you said, I fished all the tournaments that were out west. I fished one bass and ABA. Team tournaments. I fished the one bass pro-am tournaments that they had, U.S. Open, that kind of stuff. And then Bassmaster came out there for several years, and then they left, and I can't remember what year they left, but then right after...
Well, wait a second. They tried to come out here, I want to say.
They tried.
They
had the Western Invitationals. They came out and did that for several years, 4 or 5 years or more. I can't remember. But
and at one time, if I'm correct, the Bassmaster tournaments had a restriction on the outboard motors. They said it was like only 150 horsepower, and we had guys out here that were already fishing 175 horsepowers, and a lot of them couldn't fish the tournaments. Isn't that correct?
I believe so. Yeah, they did have restrictions on the motors, and none of the other tournaments, had that 150 restriction on them, and they, Bassmaster did there for a while. I think. Now again, this is getting kind of before my realm, before I was around. I don't really know the ins and outs on when what was going on. When I started, I think it was a 225 was the max that you could have on a boat.
Well, I'm old, and what I'm doing is I'm kind of setting the scene. I'm setting the scene here because Southern California and California in general has not really supported these large, grand, tournament organizations. And so here you are living in Redlands, and all of a sudden you're in with one of the two biggest ones with the Forest Elwood Series. How did that happen?
Well, the FLW came out with the Everstart circuit, which is a divisional. They came out with a Western divisional back in 2003.
Now, what is Everstart?
And Everstart is a pro-am format that they have. It's a draw tournament where you get paired up with an amateur, or if you're an amateur, you get paired up with a pro. And you do not. It's not like one bass. You do not have a shared weight format. It is a individual format, meaning that when you get in the boat with a pro, you have to catch your own fish to weigh in and compete in your own division of the tournament.
So they have an amateur division then.
They have an amateur division, correct. And so you're both trying to catch your 5-fish limit for the day. They're always a 2-day tournament, and then I believe the top 10. I think right now they've changed it around, but I believe that the format now is the top 10 fish the third day. And so, if you go and fish, you're fishing the tournament, it's a multi-day tournament, which is, a big fan of, something that I really enjoy, because on a one-day tournament, the person that wins is sometimes the person that gets lucky. And, it's a sprint.
Brent, hold your thoughts for a second. We got to take a short break. We're coming back. This is going to be a very interesting interview, folks. Pull up a chair and pour yourself a hot cup of organic green tea. We're talking to Brent Eiler. He's a Forest Elwood tournament competitor. I mean, you're talking about the highest level of our sport. This is like going from the developmental league in the NBA to the full NBA, or playing at Albuquerque in AAA baseball, going straight to the Dodgers. He's at the highest levels here. So we'll be right back. Back off your drags and keep your minds in free spool. This is Ronnie, Sergio, and Robert here, broadcasting live at Angels Radio, AM 830 KLAA.
I know I don't get there often enough, but God knows I should have tried. It's a magic kind of
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Come check out the largest indoor shooting range in all of Orange County.
On Target.
Certified distributors for Glock, Wilson Combat,
Springfield, 6 Hour, CZ,
Mossberg, Remington, Ruger, and Beretta.
20 lanes open 7 days a week.
Serving Orange County for 18 years.
Conveniently located off the 5 freeway in Laguna Niguel.
Classes of all kinds, including firearm selection, home defense, and women's personal safety.
All NRA certified instructors.
Great for corporate fun shoots, team buildings, birthdays, bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Folks of all ages and types, from scout troops to law enforcement to government agencies, love On Target.
For more information, go to OnTargetRange.com. That's OnTargetRange.com.
Or call 949-348-0352. That's 949-348-0352.
Hi, everybody. This is Ronnie Kovach, and I'm here with longtime friend and a great partner on our show, Danny Strunk with 22nd Street Landing. Danny, what's going on this summer at 22nd Street? What do you guys got cooking for it?
Well, Ronnie, we have our Wednesday special. Every Wednesday, we have the half, three-quarter day Monte Carlo Pursuit, as well as the Freedom, doing a manager special from 22nd Street Landing. You want to save some money this summer, come on down and fish with us on Wednesdays. We have new management that's taken over the tackle store, a fully stocked tackle store for every need that you might have sport fishing this summer with us.
You've got rental rods there, you've got food, you've got lots of lures and tackle. It's pretty much a complete one-stop tackle store. You can even buy a gunny sack if you need it, right?
Exactly.
What about the website?
Our website is www.22ndstreet.com, or you can give us a call on our phone for reservation or any information you might have at area code 310-832-8304.
Where you located, bro?
We are in San Pedro, California, 141 West 22nd Street, conveniently located right off the 110 freeway.
And give us the names of some of those great legendary boats at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, Danny.
We have the Monte Carlo, the Pursuit, the Sea Angler, the Freedom.
Captain Danny Strunk from 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. Thanks, Danny. Tight lines.
Bass Knuckles clothing will put the wow in your fishing wardrobe. With designs so nice, you'll want to wear them on and off the water. Bass Knuckles t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, button-ups, and hats are the highest quality on the market. Made from 100% cotton, double-stitched and pre-shrunk, these shirts are ready to take on life, on or off the water. Tagless design for comfort and finished with Bass Knuckles' signature embroidered patch, you're sure to turn heads. Check out Bass Knuckles clothing at BassKnuckles.com, and also coming soon to a retailer near you. Ask your local tackle and clothing retailers if they carry Bass Knuckles clothing by name. With over 20 designs to choose from, we have something for everyone. So go to BassKnuckles.com today to get the hottest fishing clothing anywhere.
Flambeau soft tackle systems range from cool-looking backpacks to quick-draw tackle boxes. They're easy to stow on RVs, boats, or planes, and all soft tackle system models come complete with a series of Flambeau Tough Tainer boxes, perfect for custom storage of hooks, lures, and accessories. Check out the classic quick-draw tray or front-loading hard exterior boxes. They also feature Tough Tainer storage boxes for stashing away gear from trout to tuna. The Flambeau Z-Rust is molded directly into many of the tackle boxes and Tough Tainers. Z-Rust technology has proven to be the best way to protect your tackle against rust and corrosion. The patented Z-Rust polymer emits a harmless vapor, forming a protective layer around metal surfaces like your hooks and favorite lures, with an amazing 5 years of effectiveness. You can also add Z-Rust capsules or plastabs to any of your other home storage containers to inhibit rust and corrosion. And for transporting your expensive rods to faraway destinations like Alaska or Panama, you stow them directly and fly them in a famous Flambeau Bazooka adjustable rod case. Flambeau, the biggest name in fishing tackle storage, available at sporting goods stores and fishing pro shops near you.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner Degreaser. 30 years ago, my father and I witnessed a fatal cleaning accident. That inspired us to develop a product that would eliminate the need for hazardous cleaners. Today, Simple Green has become the world's finest non-toxic all-purpose cleaner. Its concentrated formula can handle virtually any cleaning job you might have: the kitchen, bathroom, laundry, and garage. Simple Green cleans them all quickly and safely. At Simple Green, your family's safety is our business.
So you like to fish? Well, hey, I'd like you to fish too. Hi, it's Whitney from Mammoth Lakes, California, here with this summer's Mammoth Lakes giveaway. Now, through August 17th, enter to win a trip for two. That includes a 3-night stay in a 2-bedroom condo at Sunstone Lodge, courtesy of Mammoth Sierra Reservations. Round-trip flights from Los Angeles to Mammoth Lakes on Alaska Airlines, free parking at LAX, courtesy of the parking spot, which features valet parking, airport shuttle, complimentary newspaper and water, plus the rental car when you get here. You'll also win a pontoon rental from Crowley Lake Fish Camp, a boat and motor rental from Silver Lake Resort, plus a pontoon rental on Lake Mary in the heart of the Mammoth Lakes Basin. Enter to win by going to fishingexpeditions.com. That's fishingexpeditions.com. Good luck and fish on!
Best way to enjoy Angels baseball is with Terry Smith and Mark Langston.
And he swings and he lines one into left center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. It's now a one-run ball game.
Angels Radio, AM 830.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby sister can do it with me. It's easier than learning your ABC. So come on, do the locomotion with me.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got a real special guest this morning, Brent Eiler from Redlands, California, okay? And we're talking about him turning pro, coming out of California, and then eventually heading east to fish the prestigious Forest Elwood Cup this next weekend. So, Brent, as you, again, cut your teeth, so to speak, here in Southern California bass fishing with all these team tournaments and some of the pro events, when did you step into the FLW tour?
You know, I started fishing the tour level in 2005, and I haven't turned back since. I fished, I think so that would be my 9th full season that I just finished right now, fishing nationally back east, and I qualified for my 8th Forest Wood Cup, I believe, and just about to fish that here in Shreveport, Louisiana. So it's really cool seeing how the sport has progressed, and you're going from Southern California to fish nationally and go to the Forest Wood Cup right now, and the tournament's actually going to be aired on Network NBC. So it's going to be a pretty cool deal to see our tournament on Network TV now. So it's a pretty exciting event, and to have something like that happen is very exciting.
Well, I'm not sure, but the FLW TV show, if I'm correct, was either before my show on Sunday mornings or right after mine on Sunday mornings, and we kind of anchored an hour between their show and mine. Talk about 2006. What happened then?
2006 was my second season on tour. Again, I didn't really, I just started. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I was still, working a little bit in California. I was in the construction a little bit. I was looking to get my contractor's license, and I was still fishing as well. And I didn't know exactly what my career path was going to be. And then I qualified for the Forest Wood Cup, which is out at Logan Martin in
Where's
Alabama.
Logan? Oh, Alabama, okay.
Yep, and just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. Actually real close to Talladega, the speedway out there. And I qualified for that and ended up winning the tournament. And at that point, I kind of remember even the same day I won, I did a bunch of press stuff there on site, and then left. I hadn't even unpacked the boat yet because we have to use their boats on the final days. And I kind of remember sitting there thinking that, boy, this is going to change things. This is going to be kind of a different deal for me. And then kind of at that point is when I decided to do it as a career, as a job. And so,
how much did you win?
I won $500,000 in that tournament.
Are you listeners hearing this? This guy, in his second year, going back east and putting his savings on the line. In his second year of fishing the Forest Elwood, and by the way, Forest Wood was the original owner and designer of the famous Ranger bass boats. I mean, all of a sudden, this guy's got $500,000 in cash. What'd you do with that money?
It was. I was just talking to my wife about it the other day. It was kind of a funny story because I drove back home. That was my final tournament for the year. I had to drive all the way back to California from Birmingham. I actually stopped off at Ranger Boats for a couple days and hung out with everybody there first, and then went home. I got home, fell asleep that night. I got home late, woke up the next morning, and my wife and I went to the gym. I remember I just had my Ranger Boats hat on and just got done, working out, and so I was just in shorts and a t-shirt and just kind of grungy looking. And I walked into the bank there in Redlands and handed them a check for $500,000 and said, "Please deposit." And I kept, we were talking about how, we were wondering what they were going to do with that kind of that size of a deposit, and a kid going in there looking like I was looking, and I showed up and handed it to him, and they didn't even bat an eye, just deposited it for me. So it was kind of a funny story. Just walked in there not having to even care. And I thought they were going to at least blink an eye or do something. It wasn't a big deal at all.
That's incredible. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the life of a bass pro. Two things I want to talk to you about is, one is you've got expenses. Every time you fish one of these tournaments east of California, you've got, number one, I would presume you tow your own boat back there. So you've got, your own road expenses, correct?
Correct.
Lodging expenses, meals, and then the tournament entry fees. How much are they typically?
On the tour level events, they're $4,000.
$4,000. That's Hey, Sergio, that's serious jackpot money.
Yeah. I would
that's not like a
say
half day boat. Okay, jackpot. I mean, four large.
Well, if you want to win big, you gotta play big. So,
okay, and you've had, it's 2006. You won $500,000. Now we're 7 years later, 2013. And whatever you've won in between that has to be offset by your cost. This is really an investment, isn't it? You're basically investing and betting on yourself every time. Are the costs sometimes extraordinary in your opinion to do this?
The costs are definitely high, especially for me being in California, because in between events I have to fly home, and so when a guy that lives out here in the South. And I say that because I'm in the South right now. I left yesterday morning early and had to hop on a plane and fly out just to get to my boat and truck to start my drive. So
who drives your boat and truck there then?
I leave it out here after every tournament, and it varies from spot to spot and where the next tournament is. I usually try and get close to the next tournament and fly out of there, or wherever I can leave my boat in a safe place and my truck and hop on a plane is where I stay. So I fly, 3/4 of the day or a full day and get in and hop in my car and start driving just to get to the next event. So not only do I have the gas expense for driving, to the tournament, half a day, I also have to fly for half a day or 3/4 of the day. So I fly and drive both to get back. So my expenses are very high. There's no doubt about it. But it's like anything, it's the cost of my business, and this is what I do for a living, and it's just part of what I do. And, when you think about it, this isn't really a jackpot tournament. This isn't put in $4,000 and you have to catch the biggest fish to win. They pay $10,000 down to 50th place in these tournaments. So, there's good money. It's $125,000 per event that we fish for first place, and the money drops from there down to $10,000 down to 50th place. So,
wow.
The top 50 in the tournament get $10,000, so you're definitely investing money on a return, and it's a decent return. If you can catch fish and you're a good fisherman, you're hoping you can cash a check in a couple of those events.
Are you guys listening to this compared to something like Western Outdoor News or the Saltwater Bass Fishing Association? Are you listening to the money that's involved here?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can't make a living off of
right. And what it has to do with is also sponsors. Mm-hmm. You need the anglers to help the purse, but you need sponsors, and you need television, you need possible radio, whatever else it is. Those numbers are absolutely staggering, and I will venture to say 90% of my listeners out there have no idea how serious this sport is once you really begin, to leave California. Let me ask you another question before we take a break, Brent, and I've got some additional time here I'm going to throw at you this morning. And again, we're talking to Brent Eiler. He's from Redlands. I mean, this guy here is really an iconic figure in freshwater bass fishing circles. He starts fishing professionally along the South Atlantic in the east, and he starts in 2005. In 2006, he wins $500,000. Are you listening to me? He won the FLW Cup, and he's going out again to try to win it 7 years later here this coming week in Shreveport, Louisiana. How important are sponsors to a pro? First of all, let me just ask the blunt question, because a lot of people don't realize this, and I will say it very sheepishly. I was the number one sponsored bass, trout, and saltwater fisherman in the western United States. I took a lot of the money from the sponsors that you guys are getting now, 20 years ago. And the reason wasn't because I was a great, single bass fishing, tournament winner or anything like that. It was because I knew how to promote. I knew how to go into a sports chalet or a Turner's or give a seminar. I knew how to do a grand opening for an independent retailer that would pay me. And so my sponsors, okay, they spent that money because they realized that in bass fishing particularly, forget trout and saltwater fishing, but in bass fishing particularly, you're only as good as the last tournament you won. At least that was a lot of their reasoning. For spending a lot of money with me in 20 years ago, and to this day today, I still make a very handsome living as a professional, I want to say, promoter of fishing around the world. But can a bass pro just live on sponsorships alone at your level?
Yes, no doubt about it. It's sponsors play an important role. It kind of goes both ways. We have a few anglers that make a living, fishing tournaments, doing well in tournaments. That there's enough money involved that you can survive on tournament winnings alone. However, it's not that easy because you're a year away from having a bad year. If you're having a good year now, if you're a bad year, it could be next year. And if you're putting out $4,000 a tournament and traveling costs and stuff, you're going to be in the hole pretty quick if you don't win any money. But with the FLW Tour, the money is, high enough that if you cash a few checks, you're going to be in the positive. But
look, it's really high stakes gambling. It's kind of a cross between a rodeo cowboy and a NASCAR driver. I mean,
exactly. It is high stakes gambling if you're not involved with sponsors. So it really is instrumental in my success and other fishermen's success to have the sponsorship backing to be able to go and do that stuff. Now, it's a win-win situation for both people, the angler and the sponsor, because we get to use their high quality products and get out there and fish a tournament and show their stuff off and be able to promote it, and that's funny. It's the easiest thing to do is promote a company that makes a quality product.
Exactly.
Get out there and tell people about it.
Brent, hang on for at least another 15 minutes here. We got to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the strange phenomenon of what they call 6 degrees of separation. Now with social media, it's probably 3 degrees. As I'm sitting here on my port corner with Robert Schneider, the owner of Phoenix Lures, it just turns out that Robert and Brent Eiler have an interesting relationship about sponsorship that we'll talk about shortly when we come back on Ronnie Kovach's Radio Outdoor Expeditions.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Flying out of LAX on your next trip? Then park at the parking spot. Our yellow and black spotted shuttles whisk you right to the front door of your airline terminal. Nothing could be easier or a better value. You'll even earn credit for free parking in the Spot Club. The parking spot has 2 convenient locations just minutes from LAX Airport. For directions and more information, visit theparkingspot.com. The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered.
Hi, everybody. This is Ronnie Kovach, and I have to tell you, Convict Lake is one of the most popular fishing holes in the Eastern Sierra. The pristine lake is 160 acres and situated in a bowl at 7,800 feet that was developed by a moraine dam created from retreating glaciers and ringed with towering mountain peaks. The lake is stocked weekly by the Department of Fish and Game. The resort also provides supplemental stockings of those great Alpers rainbow trout throughout the season. Convict Lake Resort has a marina with boat rentals and launching facilities, fishing rod and reels for rent, and licenses at the general store. Join the fun of a spring and fall fishing derby and stay updated with weekly fishing reports. The restaurant at Convict Lake is a magical destination for all seasons with a casually elegant atmosphere and menu featuring eclectic continental cuisine, award-winning wine list, and a martini bar. To view the resort's complete calendar of events, go to www.convictlake.com. Also, check out Convict Lake's lodging specials. For $379, you're going to get 2 nights for 2 persons in a mountain one-room cabin. Plus, the special includes a $100 restaurant credit and a full-day boat and motor rental. You can't beat that. For more details again and availability, contact Convict Lake Resort at www.convictlake.com or call them 800-992-2260. That's Convict Lake Resort at 800-992-2260.
Hi, I'm Tony Tanashi from Owner Hooks, and I want to talk to you about one of our new 2012 products, Jig Rig, the hottest terminal fishing product for 2012. The Jig Rig is comprised of an offset hook with a welded ring through its eyes, and on the welded ring is a split ring attached to a slim profile weight. The Jig Rig is unique because, unlike other jigs, the hook moves independent of the weight. This helps to achieve greater bait action, and when fighting fish, the pull is coming directly through the solid ring to the hook, with the weight off to the side. So, unlike traditional jigs, the fish can't use the Jig Rig's weight to leverage the hook out of its mouth. With the weight leading the way, the compact profile of this rig allows for longer and more accurate casts. Weights can easily be removed and added to the split ring without retying line or re-rigging bait. Jig Rig is available with lead or tungsten weights, and Owner's Yuki Bug and JR Minnow are the perfect baits for the Jig Rig. Jig Rig was designed for largemouth bass fishing, but will work on many saltwater inshore species like calico and sand bass. For further illustrations, videos, and instructions, please visit www.ownerhooks.com. Hey, good luck out there this season.
Serious anglers choose P-Line, the most technically superior line. P-Line CXX Extra Strong is the toughest line on the market and should be your choice to fight monster fish. Completely invisible underwater P-Line CX Premium is fluorocarbon-coated copolymer line with low memory and nearly zero water absorption. P-Line FluoroClear is now available in mist green, casts better than mono, and is a freshwater favorite. Don't take chances with the quality of your line. Bass anglers choose P-Line Fluorocarbon, exceptional performance when every cast counts. Trust P-Line every time.
You know that feeling? The feeling of being skunked on the lake? You're bored, anxious, sleepy, just hoping to get that bite on? What do you do to switch it up? Do you run to the tackle store? Or try to find the guy on the lake who's catching a monster of stringers on trophy fish and ask him what he's using? Because you want to know what a 5, 10, 15, or 20-pound monster or trophy fish feels like. Well, everyone, his secret is out. Bite On Fish Attractants. Simply add Bite On Liquid Attractant to your baits, lures, jigs, dough baits, and live worms. Log on right now for details on your free bottle of Bite On. www.anglerbros.com. That's right, anglerbros.com for details on your free bottle of Bite On. Available now at Turner's Outdoorsman and your local bait and tackle stores throughout California. Coming soon to Sports Chalet and all the Eastern Sierra bait and tackle stores just in time for this year's trout opener. Bite On Fish Attractants, the only scent where fish get hooked. anglerbros.com. Makes a perfect gift, too. To be a heroic angler, you don't need laser vision, super strength, or a shiny cape. All you need to do is make sure you and all your passengers wear life jackets. It's a simple, effective way to keep everyone on your boat safe. And you can get U.S. Coast Guard approved angler life jackets, which is bad news for fish, but great news for you. Be a hero and make sure everyone on your boat wears a life jacket. Shiny red cape is completely optional. Rate your boating safety smarts at BoatCalifornia.com. If it's your boat, it's your responsibility. A message from the California Department of Boating and Waterways.
Want to interact with the Travis Rogers Show and the Sports Lodge? Follow them on Twitter at Travis Rogers and at Roger Lodge 7. Send in your tweets and they could be read on the air.
One told over the line, sweet Jesus, one told over the line. Sitting downtown in a railway station, one told over the line. Waiting for the train is on time. Sitting downtown in a railway station, one toke over the line. Who do you love? I hope it's me. I've been changing, as you can plainly see. I felt the joy.
Welcome back, everybody. Let me just talk a little bit about Turner's Outdoorsman. First of all, they're now open in Temecula off the 15 freeway in the Winchester Road. Your hometown, Robert?
Yep, can't wait to get in there, see what they got.
Well, Turner's Outdoorsman is a one-stop shop for all of your shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle needs. They offer a full selection and unmatched prices on firearms, ammunition, fishing tackle, and everything you need for your next trip to the field or adventure on the water. Temecula's grand opening is now done, but I have to tell you, you can still receive many of the grand opening specials at the new Temecula location by joining their email list. Plus, you will get their weekly ads and seasonal flyers directly to your inbox. Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 hunting, fishing, and shooting sports retailer with 16 Southern California locations, is indeed now in Temecula off the I-15 freeway and Winchester Road. Visit them on the web at turners.com. That's simply turners.com. It's as easy as that for more information. This has been a fascinating 40 minutes so far with Brent Eiler. He is a bass fisherman, and he is not only a bass fisherman, he's competing at the highest level. This would be comparable to Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, or the PGA, as an example. He's fishing the Forrest L. Wood Cup this week in Shreveport, Louisiana, where in only his second year of going east and fishing in these big boy tournaments, he won $500,000. That's how much the cup pays. Now, Robert, talk about your relationship with Brent. How did you guys meet?
Well, first off, he was kicking my butt over at Lake Paris for a lot of years in team tournaments. But about a year and a half ago, when I purchased a Phoenix Bait Company, he was already on board as one of the pro staff. And so that was perfect.
So here's an example where you pay him to fish your jigs and spinnerbaits, right?
Yep.
That works.
He uses our jigs quite a bit.
You know, when I was guiding and also, fishing here with, at that time, Western Outdoor News and a little bit of the American Bass Fishing Association, Brent, I was known basically as a booger fisherman. I like to fish things like the reapers and two baits, gitsits, and finesse, going down all the way to 4-pound test line, whether it was drop shotting or Carolina rigging or traditional split shotting. And I wasn't a Bubba fisherman, okay? When I did this show with Dean Rojas for my TV show, for example, we fished Havasu, where Dean was living at the time. And Dean loves to crank. He loves to crank. And I can remember in his back seat, and I know the phenomena of what it feels like to back seat someone, both as a front seater who back seats his guy in the back, okay, and as the back seater who gets it from the front seater. I've been in both positions. So, he's got like 5, 6, 7 fish on me because these are first strike reaction fish. And what happens is, as you throw a crankbait or maybe a spinnerbait, which we call Bubba baits, those fish are going to hit those baits while I'm in the back of the boat throwing booger baits, little 2-inch, 3, 4-inch plastic worms and things like that, trying to finesse these fish. I had to finally ask Dean. I said, "Hey, Dean," I said, "could you back it off a little bit and maybe give me a shot at a couple of these places on the river?" I think we were out towards the lower river towards Blankenship, and he stopped for about 10 minutes, let me make 6 casts, then moved on and kept cranking. I got my butt kicked that day. Are you a Bubba? Or a booger?
A Bubba or a booger? Boy, I would say I'm a little bit of everything. It's there's a lot of guys out there that are specialists in certain things, and Dean is a specialist in kind of the Bubba style of fishing. You have a David Fritz out there that's a crankbait fisherman, Rick Clunn, who's a crankbait fisherman, Denny Brower, who's going to be a flipper. Same with Tommy Biffle. These guys specialize, flipping. So every one of these guys, or a lot of these guys, have a certain technique that they're specialists at.
Yeah, you know, I fished with Tommy Biffle at El Salto, and he was a major flipper. I fished with Paul Elias, and he loved to crank. And then I fished with a guy named Kelly Jordan. You know Kelly?
I do know Kelly. Yep.
I met Kelly at the ICAST show in Vegas a while back, and Kelly has remained a top competitor. And Kelly really showed me the most. He was such a utilitarian angler. I mean, he would flip, he would throw cranks, he would throw spinner baits. I guess your jigs, Robert, I consider them sort of a semi
Bubba bait.
Well, I consider it a booger turn Bubba. Okay, when I'm fishing a slow jig off the bottom, it's a booger bait. But when I'm flipping, like, you know, in the old days we used to go down to the Colorado River and we'd flip the Virgin and the Muddy Rivers a lot in those U.S. Opens. Then it was basically a Bubba bait. It was a first strike reaction.
Well, don't let Brent confuse you there a little bit. This guy has won tournaments with crankbaits and rip baits, you know, the fast-moving stuff. He's also won them on jigs. He's also won them drop shotting, you know. So Brent is a really great all-around fisherman.
I can see that. And Brent, also, I used to teach classes after the Fred Hall show. I haven't done it in a number of years, but I used to teach classes on how to turn pro, all right? Because here I was and still am, okay, receiving very, very handsome incomes from being involved in this sport. And, again, I have no interest in tournament fishing anymore because I realize, number one, I'm older. Number two, it's increasingly become a younger man's game. You got to spend a lot of time on the water. And number three, most importantly, like I said, for my sponsors, I'm only as good as the last tournament I would have won. My sponsors are more concerned that I can turn people on to fishing, whether it's bass fishing, calico bass fishing, trout fishing, or tuna fishing, or whatever, rainbow trout fishing. So that's the path that I have taken. But I shared in these classes at the Fred Hall show. Bart Hall asked me to teach these classes on how to turn pro, whether in any type of fishing field. And one of the things that I taught these people coming into this class, okay, and they ranged in all types of ages, you know, all the way up into their 50s, maybe 60s. I told them, I said, the one thing that a professional angler in either saltwater or freshwater cannot overlook is how to work the media, okay? I've got to be honest with you. From my observations, most of you guys don't know how to do it. They won't take time. Well, here you are in Shreveport, Louisiana, getting ready for this tournament. You're taking basically an hour of your time to talk to 40,000 listeners today. Most of you guys don't do that. You're too focused and concentrated on your pre-fishing and going fishing, and then afterwards, you know, getting back to your family. I cannot tell you enough, and please spread the word. You guys have got to learn to work the media because you're not paying for this. And it's important because a lot of people, number one, now know who you are, now realize you're sitting here around the corner 40 miles from Angel Stadium where we broadcast, which is Redlands, California. You're also involved with one of my nicest friends, a co-host of the show and a sponsor, Robert Schneider, called Phoenix Lures. And more importantly, you're kind of a phenom. I mean, you walked away with $500,000 in your second year of bass fishing. That to me is a story on any sports show, whether it's a fishing and hunting show or whether it's a general show, you know, on baseball and football. So again, I'm just throwing out some wisdom here. Guys like me, we don't age, Brent. We sage. We're like sages. So I'm throwing out some wisdom here because I was talking to some of the people, you know, like Jody White at the FLW, and say, look, a lot of you guys, you know, fishing in the East, you still think we're fighting Indians out here. I mean, the West is really, you know, a viable place. And I was just talking to Robert about all the different tournaments, from Shasta to me to Havasu to Clear Lake,
Delta.
You know, the Sacramento Delta, where people can actually get started in fishing the FLW EverStart like you did. So again, use us as allies because you've got some interesting stuff to share here, brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys having me on as well.
Okay, hang on just a second here. I got to take another quick break to do things like pay the bills from great sponsors, and we'll be right back to wrap up this hour with Brent Eiler, who in 2006 was casting for these little green fish known as largemouth and smallmouth bass, and he walked away with $500,000. What have you done lately in your bass fishing world? We'll find out on Ronnie Kovach's Radio Outdoor Expeditions.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Hey, when the sun is out, that means it's time to get a new pair of Typhoon sunglasses at Sport Chalet. Now, Sport Chalet has Typhoon's new AquaView 2 sunglasses with optical enhancement. Toss out your old reading glasses and get a pair of Typhoon AquaView 2s. They're so much better than standard readers because you get hydrophobic lenses as well that are polarized polycarbonate plus magnification powers of either 1.5, 2.0, or 2.5. A standard reader doesn't even come close. Increase your range of vision with a Typhoon AquaView 2. What I love about Typhoon's AquaView 2 is that when I'm fishing, I can see into the water without getting blinded by glare, and the next moment I can read fine print on a lure package or even the newspaper without having to change my glasses. Whenever I go fishing, I wear the Typhoon AquaView 2. Typhoon has over 25 different styles of sunglasses, all with a lifetime warranty. Typhoon sunglasses are available now at a Sport Chalet, but they're going fast.
All right, have a good day, okay?
But Dad, Saturday you promised.
I know, but I gotta go to work, okay?
How many times have we felt the guilt of wanting to spend a little more time with our family? Oh, we've always had good intentions. Another day, another moment gone, you can't have back. Why miss anything when My Thompson RV makes it so easy and affordable? You can own a travel trailer for about the cost of an average cell phone bill. Maybe a 2013 Forester 2251 LE Class C motorhome by Forest River for only $299 per month. We have what you need. No excuses. Come in today. Mike Thompson RV. Don't miss a moment. LA and OC's largest RV dealer is nearby. www.mikethompson.com. $49,389. Price excludes government fees and taxes, any finance charges, any dealer document prep charges, any emissions testing charges, and any electronic registration charges. 8% down, 240 months, 3.75 APR on approved credit, FICO score of 760 plus. Expires March 31st, 2013.
Kachuma Lake Recreation Area is renowned for its natural beauty, great fishing, and variety of things to do in every season. Set amidst oak woodland in the picturesque Santa Ynez Valley in Santa Barbara County, you'll find everything you need for a relaxing lakeside getaway in the great outdoors. Cabin, yurt, RV, and tent camping vacations are planned easily with online reservations. Enjoy fishing from a boat or on shore. The lake is stocked with hungry trout, and there are plenty of bass, crappie, and catfish for eager anglers. The Kachuma Lake Marina and boat rentals also has kayak rentals and a full tackle shop. Go wildlife watching on a Kachuma nature cruise, or take a guided nature walk and visit the Neil Taylor Nature Center. Enjoy picnics, bird watching, hiking, photography, biking, or just the scenery. A well-stocked general store has all you need, beverages to camping supplies. Mild temperatures, typically sunny skies, and celebrated fishing conditions make year-round camping here exceptional. Located off scenic Highway 154 in the Santa Ynez Valley, Kachuma Lake is midway between coastal Santa Barbara, area wineries, and the Danish community of Solvang. For full information, visit www.kachuma.com.
I was in a bass fishing tournament. My boat was going over 70 miles per hour when it malfunctioned. I was thrown out and flopped across the water like a poorly skipped rock. 9 times out of 10, wearing a life jacket will prevent a fatal accident. I know. I'm alive to tell you this story today because I was wearing one. Guess that makes me a hero.
Be a hero. Rate your boating safety smarts at BoatCalifornia.com. If it's your boat, it's your responsibility. A message from the Department of Boating and Waterways.
Hello, Southern California anglers. This is Ronnie Kovach, and I'm here to tell you about some of the great fishing products that are produced right here in Southern California at the Phoenix Tackle Company. For over 25 years, the Phoenix Tackle Company has been handcrafting custom quality freshwater and saltwater jigs, lures, spinnerbaits, and sinkers. So, if you like catching saltwater fish, be it spotted bay bass, sand bass, calicos, lingcod, or albacore, or yellowtail, or even maybe a white sea bass, the Phoenix Tackle Company has got you covered with their shad heads, spinnerbaits, football jigs, sinkers, and even shad heads with weed guard. If you like catching freshwater fish, be it largemouth or smallmouth bass, stripers, bluegill, trout, or catfish, again, the Phoenix Tackle Company has got you covered with their football jigs, casting jigs, flipping jigs, spinner baits, finesse sliding sinkers, drop shot weights, and more. You can find all these and other custom quality Phoenix Tackle Company products at your local tackle stores. For more information or to order direct, you can find them at www.phoenixbaits.com. That's www.phenixbaits.com, or call them at 951-296-0912. Hey everybody, this is Ronnie Kovach, and I want to tell you about FishHound. FishHound.com provides fishermen with the most accurate local fishing reports. The fishing reports come from charter boat captains, licensed guides, and professional anglers like me. They tell you when the bite is on, where to go, when to go, and what to throw, all so you can catch more fish. Sign up for free at www.fishhound.com to get the best local fishing reports, test free fishing gear, and more. Fishhound.com is everything you need to catch like a local. Now here's the best part. If you sign up now at fishhound.com, that's FISHHOUND.com, I'm going to give you a $15 gift certificate good on any one of our owner hooks fishing schools. That's fishhound.com, everything you need to catch fish like a true local expert.
Hey, Travis Rogers, heard here from 6 to 10 a.m. weekdays. Check out the encore edition of my show today at noon when I speak with former manager Jerry Manuel and former head coach Ron Zook. That's today at noon on Angels Radio, AM 830.
All right, so this has been a fascinating whirlwind conversation with Brent Ayler. And Brent, I apologize for butchering your name. I think I could pronounce it three different ways, especially if my German from high school kicks in. But it is Ayler, correct? Brent, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I said I apologize for butchering your name 3 or 4 times. It's Brent Ayler. That's how it's pronounced, correct?
It is, yeah.
Okay, we did a little research real quick here, and Bass Fan, which is kind of like a clearinghouse for all that there is about bass. I know the founder of Bass Fan, Scott Laney, ranks Brent Ayler how high in the world?
Right now, Brent is 10th in the world.
And Sergio, you also found out how much he's earned over the years.
Can I tell them how much you've earned?
Go
Not
ahead.
over the years, so far this year.
Well, no. How over the years? It's over $1 million.
No. I had just the current standings up to
anyway.
This year.
Brent, $1.65 million for catching little green fish. This is how unaware, like I said, 90% of my audience is. And because I grew up as a bass fisherman, I actually got my lucky break writing that first best-selling book and taught guys like, as I mentioned, Byron Velvick when he was 15 years old, how to catch bass. Okay, I got to get out there to Paris with you, brother, sometime when you got some time, some shore leave here. Give me a call. I'd love to go out and fish with you for a while at the lake I used to guide on.
For sure, I would love to. Paris is still my home lake, and I run out there every chance I get. Unfortunately, it's never when it's the best fishing. The only time I can go fishing out there is basically when I break in my new Ranger in the fall. So I have like a 1-month window where I actually fish out west.
Give me a call. And listen, real quick, between now and the Cup, what are you doing? Is there any pre-fish limits? Have they been cut off?
I start practicing tomorrow. I'll be working at Walmart today and then start fishing tomorrow. I practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We have an off day Wednesday, and then the tournament starts Thursday. So it's a pretty cool deal. Check out FLWOutdoors.com. They'll have some live shows going on starting on Friday, I believe, and we'll run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, not only that, you can watch live feed from the top 10 anglers starting on Sunday. So you can take a pick. Whoever makes that top 10, if I make the cut, you can watch me with live feed all day long on the water at FLWOutdoors.com.
That is very, very cool. Again, it's Brent Ayler, and he comes from Redlands, California. He's a homeboy that's flying under our home radar here. We got to give him some real props in the future. This is very, very important because this is the pinnacle. This is really the pinnacle of fishing tournaments, okay? With the exception of something like the Bisbee Black and Blue tournament where they've got over $1 million given out there, we just don't see, this kind of money being thrown around